Hi guys, it's Mishel, Deception Bytes, and we're picking up from where we left off. The last video covered the post from August 2nd. This video is going to be looking at the post from August 3rd. Today it is 10:17 p.m. Eastern Time, so not sure if Q will post anything else tonight, but if he does, I will catch that up tomorrow. So we're going to go up to and I did just look, so this will take us up to the very latest Q post as of 10:18 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, let's get started. Now, the next post, Q says, how do you safeguard the integrity of our elections from domestic and foreign criminal actors? How do you utilize the Russia, and he put Russia in here 2 times. I assume this is a typo or an error of some sort because it doesn't make sense otherwise, but it is in here twice. I know sometimes he makes these things on purpose, and it could be, but we don't know at this point. How do you utilize the Russia narrative to knock out decades-old election corruption? Now, let's go to the first link that he provides us. Oops. There we go. Let's hold hands and skip and sing Kumbaya on our way over. Okay, senior administration officials warn that Russia will try to undermine upcoming U.S. elections. The president has specifically directed us to make the matter of election meddling a top priority. Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates said. Now, this is interesting because really, this is the narrative that I really think that Trump is using this in their favor, because who is the ones that are meddling in the elections? Well, the Democrats, right? So if he says, oh yes, we're really concerned about the elections too, so we need to institute national ID card to be able to to vote. Or I personally believe, and this is, I think, would solve everything, because I am a legal resident, a legal alien of the United States. I was there 20 years. I am temporarily in Canada. I hope to return. Now, my social security number looks like everybody else's. You would look at it and you wouldn't know if I was a citizen or not a citizen. And so really, I mean, I don't know how many people I've had to say, I can't vote. It's right in that if you are not a citizen of the country, you can't vote. If I wanted to vote, I could. Sure, I could. And nobody would question it either. I never have voted because I know that I've been instructed that I'm not supposed to. But I know that there are a lot of people that do, because there's nothing on that social security number that would designate me as either a legal resident or a citizen. So if there was something embedded in that social security card, which I don't believe should be made of paper, it's just too easily destructible, but some sort of holographic mark or something. I mean, they do that to the money in Canada. They to designate whether it's a citizen or a legal resident, or, as the case may be, an illegal. I mean, they wouldn't have, well, actually, they do have social security numbers, some of them from dead people and so forth, or there's 5 and 6 and 7 people on the same social security number. So I don't know if that would work, but there has to be a way to designate somebody as a citizen. Now, obviously, I could have when I was in the States, and should have, because I would not be facing the immigration battles that I'm facing right now. If I had done that, I should have gone through and become a citizen. I was able to, but I didn't. And if I would be called a naturalized citizen of the United States. Now, a naturalized citizen can vote and should be able to vote because they have said, okay, this is my country now. I'm adopting this as my country, and I'm in agreement with its laws and whatever. So I don't know how they're going to get around this, but there has to be some way of regulating this, because I don't think that, people who aren't citizens should be able to vote. I think naturalized citizens should be able to vote, and natural born citizens. Illegal aliens, not so much. It's insane that we even have to have this conversation. Like, it really is. It's insane, because that's not an issue anywhere else in the world except the United States. Why is that? Well, I mean, I know that the Democrats know that if they, clamp down on election fraud and so forth, that they're going to lose their voters, because most of their voters, a lot of illegals vote Democrat. So we know this to be a fact. Anyway, let's look at the next link. President Donald J. Trump is strengthening the security of our elections. Good. We're going to take strong action to secure our election systems and the process. President Donald J. Trump, committed to protecting our elections. President Donald J. Trump is committed to protecting our nation's elections from foreign interference. And foreign interference isn't just Russia. Foreign interference is, say, Mexico. I mean, if there's all these illegals flooding over the border and voting in our elections, is that not foreign interference? Well, I say yes, it is. It's a big time foreign interference. Yeah. Anyway, President Trump has made clear that his administration will not tolerate foreign interference in our elections from any nation state or other malicious actor. President Trump chaired National Security Council meetings on May 3rd and July 27th to receive updates on and discuss the whole of government approach to election security being implemented at his direction. The whole of government approach was put in motion at the beginning of the administration to support state and local election officials across the country. President Trump's meetings have addressed the threats posed to our elections by foreign actors, efforts underway to provide cybersecurity assistance to state and local authorities, actions to investigate, prosecute, and hold accountable those who attempt to interfere in our electoral processes. Strengthening the election security. The Trump administration is helping state and local authorities bolster their defenses against cyber operations targeting our elections. The Trump administration is working to provide state and local authorities with the support they need to defend against attempts to interfere in our elections. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, is working with all 50 states, local governments, and the private sector to strengthen election security. DHS is sharing information across all levels of government to ensure a coordinated response to any election interference attempt. The administration provided on-site cybersecurity support to states during the 2017 elections. A new pilot program was launched to enable state and local officials at the Election Assistance Commission to share information on Election Day and allow for rapid response. The Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation are working to investigate and disrupt any threats to our election system and alert potential victims and targets. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, and DHS hosted classified meetings for election commissioners and state election officials from all 50 states. These briefings provided insight into what the intelligence community is doing to assist DHS ahead of 2018 and 2020 elections. ODNI held the first ever federal election tabletop exercise to improve information sharing. And it goes on. I don't know. Well, I'm close to the end, so here we go. ODNI leads an interagency working group of cyber and counterintelligence experts focused on ongoing information sharing and integration of election security efforts. DHS recently held a national cybersecurity summit, bringing together stakeholders from government, industry, and academia to advance cybersecurity. The summit served as a launching point for a number of DHS cybersecurity initiatives. And DHS is launching a National Risk Management Center to coordinate government and private sector risk management efforts to defend our critical infrastructure. So it is something that the president is taking very seriously and should take seriously, because it's obviously, probably in the past, had a great effect on our elections. Who knows? But it most certainly is a little humorous to me that even in a rigged election, Hillary lost. What does that tell you? Well, tells me a whole lot, but she's still out there flapping her gums like somebody wants to listen to her. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back. So, all right. Why are Democrats opposed to cleaning up voter rolls? Well, that's pretty obvious. Many of the illegals vote Democrat. Plus, there are people voting under Social Security numbers that are stolen. They're stolen, or there's dead people voting. I don't know how those dead people keep voting, but they should stop that. They should not allow dead people to vote. Now, why are Democrats opposed to imposing voter ID laws to further safeguard elections? Well, for the same reason. We don't want to be asking people if they're legal here. My gosh, how could we impose on people in such a way? So no, I mean, they're getting a lot of votes from illegals. So they don't want voter ID laws. Of course not. Why oppose basic common sense methods that are currently deployed worldwide? Well, that's because they don't have common sense. And actually, common sense is not really all that common, come to find out. Anyway, yeah, these methods are deployed worldwide, but the Democrats in America oppose them. Interesting. And Q, rightly so, says logical thinking. Corruption. Of course. Their corruption can't continue if our only legal people are voting, people legally able to vote, not dead people, not people, not babies, not, people legally able to vote. And then Q gives us another link. I know you could tell that was a link because you're all pretty smart people, but oh gosh, there's this again. Hang on here. How do I do this? Okay, I think I have to do this to bring it back and reload. Oh crap. Nope. I don't know. Anyway, hate it when it does that. Reload. Content blocked. Unblock. There we go. All right. First day with the new brain. Okay, Trump sounds call for voter ID laws to fix rigged system after disbanding fraud panel. All right. Now, President Trump called Thursday for new voter ID laws just hours after dissolving his presidential, I knew that.
This commission is tasked.
It's enough to drive you to drink. Okay, the president disbanded the controversial panel. President Trump called Thursday for new voter ID laws just hours after dissolving his presidential commission on voter fraud. The president disbanded the controversial panel focused on election integrity, blaming a refusal by more than a dozen states to provide what he called basic information. Many, mostly Democrat states, refused to hand over data from the 2016 election to the Commission on Voter Fraud. They fought hard that the Commission not see their records or methods because they know that many people are voting illegally. System is rigged. Must go to voter ID, Trump tweeted. And this is the tweet saying the exact same thing that I just read. The commission was led by Vice President Pence and Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach. They asked all 50 states and the District of Columbia to hand over personal voter data, including voters' names, voting histories, and party affiliations. Multiple states, including Virginia, Kentucky, and California, declined to comply with the commission's requests. And during the panel's first meeting, Trump questioned the motives of states refusing to comply with the commission's request, suggesting they had something to hide. Well, that's true, because if you've got nothing to hide, well, then you hide nothing. Trump months earlier had alleged without evidence that 3 million to 5 million people voted illegally in the 2016 presidential election, delivering the popular vote to Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. On Thursday, Trump turned his attention to stronger voter ID laws. As Americans, you need identification, sometimes in a very strong and accurate form for almost everything you do, except when it comes to the most important thing, voting for the people that run your country. Push hard for voter identification, Trump tweeted, and I could not agree more. The president also tackled developments over North Korea in his Thursday morning tweets, coming after he caused a stir by boasting about the size of his nuclear button compared with Kim Jong-un's. Okay, well, this is on to something else, so let's leave that there and go back. And so, yeah, I mean, this is just everything we just surmised here. We know why the Democrats don't want voter ID. Now, let's go up to the next post, and Q is referring to this Anon who posted these from, I think, the woman that, yes, it was the woman that supposedly saved Trump from being assassinated. And she says, I guess you can think of me as the female Seth Rich that knew she was being hunted and took the steps to foil them before they could succeed. And then she says, I mean, short of killing the people who want you dead, how can you foil their plans to hunt you down? And I fought alone until last year this time. Had Hillary won, I'd be dead or living under an assumed name in a different country. Now, I don't know what she's talking about, and maybe some of you do, but this Anon is saying, here's another Kate excerpt. Keep in mind she wanted to, quote, hug POTUS. Now, hugging is another name, like when you say, like when you dislike somebody and you say, I'd like to hug them really tight around the neck. Yeah, like that's a way of saying, I'd like to strangle them. I'd like to wring their neck like a chicken. Another way to say that, I'd like to hug them really tight around the neck. So I don't know. Was he inferring that she meant some sort of harm to POTUS because she wanted to hug him? I don't know. But then Q acknowledges this and says, Audis present, no connection, logical thinking, VIP access, subject, threat to POTUS, thwarted, rally, USSS, that's U.S. Secret Service, threat identified, action taken, communications dark, message sent, 5-5, which I have been told repeatedly is like the way of saying like message is clear, or message loud and clear, basically message slant loud and clear, Q. Now, and I put here, I think this woman was a plant because the whole story doesn't make sense, and I alluded to that in the last video, so I don't need to allude to it here, well, not allude to it, but go into it here. But I am not sure I have the understanding of this at all. Because Q is asking, oddest present, no connection, logical thinking. I don't know what went down there with this woman supposedly thwarting this attack on POTUS Life, and then, getting a Q shirt, which she had ordered a week before, and wearing it to the rally and wanting to hug POTUS because whatever, she's the so-called mystery woman. I don't know. I wish that I had an answer for you, and I possibly may as I continue to push forward and look into this, but right now I apologize, but I don't. Now, if any of you can shed light on this for me, I would really appreciate it. So please write in the comments below, because I do try to read as many comments as I can possibly get to. All right, now let's go to the next post. And it's really about the same thing, because he's quoting himself here, and then down below, he's acknowledging the post, that he just posted, and he is saying, incorrect decoding, not the person. Think connection. Threat 1, threat 2. 1, past, newspaper. 2, future, rally. 1 equals 2. Post noted VIP access. Message sent. We know. Q. Now, okay, here's another way of looking at it. He's saying threat 1 was the past, the newspaper article, but threat 2 was the future, the rally. But 1 equals 2. Now, post noted VIP access for the person that thwarted it. Again, I'm a little lost here, because there's something missing out of here that's making it all make sense. There's something missing, and I don't know what it is. I would like to know, I think it might help us to know if the person that thwarted this was for real or not for real. I would assume that she would not be given VIP access if it were not true, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening here, because there seems to be a little piece out that, makes it all make sense. So again, I apologize. I will keep looking into this, but as of now, I don't have the real story, and I don't know if anyone does. Perhaps they do, or perhaps not, or perhaps it needs further drops by Q to let us know exactly what happened. So let's go on. Now, this is interesting. Q says full attack mode. Now, he's saying the deep state, the mainstream media, they're in full on attack mode. And he says Washington Post leading. That's not a question. He's telling us the Washington Post is leading the cavalry charge against Q and all things Q, and against the president himself. Now, these are examples of what's been posted again, and this is a sample from the past 5 hours, and this was posted today at 10:09 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's take a look. You'll never guess how the q-anon conspiracy theorists, well, there's the Washington Post again for you. I can't even get the thing out before they shut me down. So let's see if we can determine from here what this is. It says, this is the moment how a wave of media coverage gave QAnon conspiracy theorists their best week ever. That's the name of this article. Now here's the Washington Post again, which I can't get to, so I'll just read the headline, which is what I was going to do anyway. There's a virus in Trumpland. Oh, really? And I bet you the name of the virus is Q. Can't read the article, but bet you that's what it says. Now here's the Washington Post again. And again, we can't go out there because apparently Jeff Bezos doesn't make enough money. So he charges for anyone to look at his newspaper. Anyway, so this one says, QAnon, meet a real-life believer in the online pro-Trump conspiracy theory that's bursting into view. Who owns the Washington Post? Well, that would be Jeff Bezos. And then he says, Amazon? Who owns Amazon? That would be Jeff Bezos. What ABC agency is heavily tied to Amazon? Well, that would be the CIA. They're very heavily tied to Amazon. And let's go take a look. This is not a link from Q. That's why it's outlined in red. But let's go take a look at this. Shall we? The details about the CIA's deal with Amazon. Well, looky there. A 600 million computing cloud built by an outside company is a radical departure for the risk-averse intelligence community. Well, I guess they really trust Jeff Bezos. The intelligence community is about to get the equivalent of an adrenaline shot to the chest. This summer, a 600 million computing cloud developed by Amazon Web Services for the Central Intelligence Agency over the past year will begin servicing all 17 agencies that make up the intelligence community. If the technology plays out as officials envision, it will usher in a new era of cooperation and coordination, allowing agencies to share information and services much more easily and avoid the kind of intelligent gaps that preceded the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks. Sure, throw that in there, throw in the terrorist attacks, so we'll say, oh yes, okay, we want to avoid that. Anyway, for the first time, agencies within the intelligence community will be able to order a variety of on-demand computing and analytics services from the CIA and National Security Agency. What's more, they'll only pay for what they use. The vision was first outlined in the Intelligence Community Information Technology Enterprise Plan, championed by Director of National Intelligence. Oh, well, here's a name we know, James Clapper, and IC, Chief Informant Officer, Al Tarasiuk, perhaps, almost 3 years ago. Cloud computing is one of the core components of the strategy to help the IC discover, access, and share critical information in an era of seemingly infinite data. For the risk-averse intelligence community, the decision to go with a commercial cloud vendor is a radical departure from business as usual, and yes, I would agree. In 2011, while private companies were consolidating data centers in favor of the cloud and some civilian agencies began flirting with cloud variants like email, a service, a sometimes contentious debate among the intelligence community's leadership took place. As one former intelligence official with knowledge of the Amazon deal told government executive, it took a lot of wrangling, but it was easy to see the vision if you laid it all out. The critical question would the IC, led by the CIA, attempt to do cloud computing from within, or would it buy innovation? Money was a factor, according to the intelligence officials, but not the leading one. The government was spending more money on information technology within the IC than ever before. IT spending reached $8 billion in 2013, according to the budget documents leaked by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. The CIA and other agencies feasibly could have spent billions of dollars standing up their own cloud infrastructure without raising many eyebrows in Congress, but the decision to purchase a single commercial solution came down primarily to two factors. What we were really looking at was time to mission and innovation, the former intelligence officer said. The goal was, can we act like a large enterprise in the corporate world and buy the thing that we don't have? Can we catch up to the commercial cycle? Anybody can build a data center, but could we purchase something more? We decided we need to buy into innovation, the former intelligence officer said. So they made this deal with the devil. And I'm not going to get into it all because it's long. And I don't think you really want to listen to me read it all. So let's go back. We've got the gist of what Q is wanting us to know. That Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, and Jeff Bezos is heavily tied to the CIA. That's what Q wants us to know in this particular post. Now, let's look at this. Now, this is Q's post here. If I can, there we go. Let's go out and see what this has to say. And it says much the same thing. Amazon is launching a secret cloud service for the CIA. Well, Amazon Web Services introduced Secret Region, a new service specifically for the CIA and the rest of the intelligence community. It's not really a secret service. Its name just indicates it can handle data that's been classified at the secret level. Amazon, let's hope that they can handle secret better than Hillary Clinton. Amazon has offered the CIA a top secret region since 2014 as part of a $600 million deal. The extension of that older CIA deal with this new secret service underlines the market dominance of AWS. I guess that's Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services. So there you go, saying the very same thing. That is from 2017, that article. So let's go back. And Q ends, as he always does, with Q. So let's go up to the next. Now, this is from today, and it's making reference to another post that says, "Do you believe in coincidences? Q." Now, I'm not sure. That seems odd that that's just stuck in there. I don't know. Anyway, let's go on because that's a post we've looked at. And again, this is another confusing post to me because it's August 3rd and they're posting this Anon is posting this from August 3rd, and it's obviously from Twitter, and it says Rod Rosenstein, it's Representative Jim Jordan, and it says Rod Rosenstein said he's doing what the oath of office obligates us to do. Then why has he failed to comply with congressional requests and subpoenas? 2, been caught hiding information from Congress. 3, and according to media reports, threatened staff on the House Intel Committee. Now, Q makes reference to that, and below he puts in this from, I don't know when this is from actually, and it doesn't say. "I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter, so help me God." Now, this is a post from an earlier time of Q's. So Q has put in his own post, not sure what date that was given, but it was fairly recently because I remember it well. And then he said, "Remember, you owe it to your country, to yourself, to your children. We stand with you. The time is now." Q. Now, this is, I don't understand this. I'm just being straight up honest with you. It says, "Think Ray," yesterday. "Think Rod Rosenstein," today. "Communications understood. Do you believe in coincidences?" Q. So I'm not sure. Is he communicating to us, or is he communicating to Rod Rosenstein or Ray? I don't know. I know this was given when they showed the oath that they swear before beginning their training and after their training. I believe that was where this was connected to, and I think that this was directed, if I remember correctly, towards that. He was saying this to people, FBI, whatever, that maybe some people that were trapped in a bad system but were good. Remember, you owe it to your country, to yourself, to your children. We stand with you. The time is now. And perhaps that they were calling them forth to stand up for what is right. And then it says, think Ray yesterday. Think Rod Rosenstein today. Communications understood. Do you believe in coincidences? Q. Not sure. Not sure what to think of this post. I would be delighted to know what you think of this post and how you take it. Again, it may take further Q drops to understand some of this stuff, because I see this time and time again. Something that I don't get, Q will make a drop and then suddenly it's crystal clear, because the future proves the past. Past proves the future, whatever. It works both ways. So let's go up to the next post, and this is and this is a link, which I know that it's a link, because I know you're all pretty smart people. Now, but beneath it, Q is saying infiltration, Q. So let's go take a look at what he wants us to look at. Or not. Let me see if it's going to let me or not. Oh, for heaven's sakes. It won't let me go there. Unable to open. Let's go out to the keyboard and see if I can find it there. Here it is right here. So let's go look at it here, because I think obviously we're supposed to look at it. Oh, look at this. It said that SNU is a parody. The war economy on Twitter, QAnon exposed, Trump, Q, all day, every day, we follow Trump, not some LARP. Okay, so, and this post is locked, you won't be able to comment. And this is, let me see, I have never seen this site. Oh, and look, it says, welcome to the forum of choice for the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Be advised, this forum is for serious supporters of President Trump. We have discussions, memes, AMAs, and more. We are not politically correct. Please read and respect our rules. Now, this is saying that it's a parody site right before this came up. And here, I don't believe all the Q nonsense, but the mods are acting weird with all of the comment removal right now. These aren't shills. These are people that believe what I think is clearly a LARP. And it says this was removed by the moderators. So obviously no Q will be tolerated there. Very odd. But this is what Q is talking about by infiltration. Things like this. Now, do I think that Donald Trump had anything to do with this board? Nope. Do I think that Donald Trump supporters had anything to do with this board? Nope. So, yeah, I think they're trying to infiltrate. So, let's go back. Now, the next one is, he says, across all major MSM networks. And this is, what is QAnon conspiracy theory group showing up to Trump rallies? So it's just another, and then it says full visibility has many advantages. Right on schedule, Q. So when he says right on schedule, he's meaning that this has been expected. Of course, once it was outed at the Tampa rally, and then it was probably one of the 4 a.m. drops that disseminated to all the MSM networks, then, we're given full visibility, which, yes, it has its advantages, but Q's saying right on schedule, we expected this. And of course they expected it. So let's go just take a look at this real quick. And it says, oh, for heaven's sakes. Unblock. What is QAnon? The conspiracy theory group showing up to Trump rallies. And of course, here is a big Q cutout, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. And it's interesting that this is even showing up on Fox. Because Fox has been, pretty, well, I mean, they've been pretty pro-Trump, I would say, comparatively. As President Trump has traveled across the country this week, a number of spectators have been spotted holding up giant cutouts of the letter Q and wearing t-shirts with the hashtag #WeAreQ. So who are they? Under the radar until now, they are members of the fringe right-wing group QAnon, which believes in massive conspiracies in the media and the so-called deep state to take down Trump. The group is just hitting the right audience at the right time, given the right circumstance. Joseph, can't pronounce his last name, a University of Miami professor who co-authored the book American Conspiracy Theories, told the Associated Press. He said the topics appeal to many who are already inclined to believe conspiracy theories. Read on for a look at what QAnon is and why it has been in the news lately. There are several conspiracy theories this group has latched onto, especially the belief there is a network of people, including in the U.S. government, that wants to take down Trump and his administration, according to the New York Times. Now, yeah, I think anybody that would doubt that they want to take Trump down is probably maybe a few neurons short of a full circuit. I don't know. But another theory, according to NPR, is that Special Counsel Robert Mueller isn't actually investigating allegations of Russian interference and collusion in the 2016 election. Rather, the former FBI director is looking into prominent Democrats, including former President Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, Trump's 2016 opponent, and their relationship with Russia or possible connections to massive, unsubstantiated pedophile ring. Another belief is the military asked Trump to run for president in order to deal with the nefarious group of people in government, according to NPR. The group also has its own lingo. Aside from calling the leader simply Q, they refer to those who attempt to debunk the group and its theories as clowns. Well, no, that's not who they that's not who they call clowns. They call the CIA clowns, and they've always called the CIA clowns. I mean, that's been a name for a long time. And those who follow along as bakers, and bakers aren't those that follow along either. So, according to the Associated Press, an anonymous person posted on the online messaging website 4chan in October 2017 claiming to have a high-level government security clearance, a Q clearance to be exact, and discussed Trump, Obama, Clinton, political donor George Soros, and others. The message was titled "The Calm Before the Storm," which many believe to be a reference to a meeting Trump had with military leaders earlier the month when he used the same phrase. The poster Q leaves what are called breadcrumbs, or clues for followers to decipher, figure out the conspiracy theories. It's unclear who Q actually is, and if he or she is just one person or a group. Why is it making headlines now? People holding signs or wearing apparel referencing QAnon have started showing up at Trump rallies and other political events in recent months. A group marched to the Department of Justice in protest in April 2018, and a 30-year-old man was arrested for alleged terrorist attacks, among other things, after he blocked a highway near the Hoover Dam with his armored truck, calling for the release of a Justice Department report pertaining to Clinton's email server. WTVR reported the man involved in that June incident is believed to have been associated with QAnon. No, I don't think so. Roseanne Barr, the embattled actress whose namesake show was canceled this year after she tweeted racist sentiments about a former Obama administration official who also apparently retweeted messages from its Twitter account and asked to make contact with the leader. In June, she also tweeted the phrase, "Where we go one, we go all," which NPR translated as "Where we go one, we go all," a common phrase among supporters. And here is Roseanne's tweet where she says, "We are the army of truth. Where we go one, we go all. Anything else to know about the group? It looks for validation, especially in the number 17, which coincides with where Q is in the alphabet. For example, the University of Alabama national champion football team gave Trump a jersey with the number 17 on it earlier this year when it visited the White House. As the New York Times reported, some who adhere to the Q group believe it's a symbol that it exists. Others online believe it shows Trump himself is Q. So there you go. And this is just as goofy as the rest of the stuff that's been written, and it's from Fox. So what do we make of that? A hat? A paperweight? I don't know. Let's go on. All right. Now, this is the last post, unless Q has, like I said, posted after 10:30 p.m. This will be the last post. Now, let's take a look. This is interesting. And that link comes here. Well, what is this? I don't know. But there's a lot of pages. There's 158 pages, and it says Hillary Rodham Clinton, part 24 of 24 PDF. So I'm not sure, because this is the last that's post, so I added at the very last after I'd looked at all the others. And I'm really not 100. Okay, U.S. Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, to Priya Ayer, Acting General Counsel, U.S. Department of the Treasury, from Peter Strzok, Section Chief, Counter-Espionage Section, Supplemental Classification Review and Determination Request. So I'm thinking that these are some documents that are obviously important, or Q would not be directing us to them. I have not had a chance to read them yet, but it seems to be the mishandling of classified, unknown subject or country, sensitive investigative matter. So that's that. And then there seems to be, if I'm not mistaken, and I surely could be, let's go here. And this is the email page for Jordan Sachtel. And now, his Twitter is interesting. Down here, he says, "Surprise! Hillary lawyers announce that there is a successor server that they can request access to. FBI is not thrilled with the revelation." And why would they be? They need to keep that stuff covered up. But here's what I found interesting about this. Now, it says FBI has released new info on Hillary Clinton investigation. Most interesting thing I've seen thus far is timeline documenting back and forth between DOJ and Hillary's lawyers over what they could and could not see. A lot of negotiating. Was she hiding something? Well, of course, she's Hillary Clinton. Of course she's hiding something. Like, that's a stupid question. Yes, she's hiding something. Yes. Let's go take a look at this link and see where it takes us. We can hold hands and skip if we want to, because it's taking forever to get there. But here it comes. And not a moment too soon. All right. Well, what is this? It's the same PDF document, but seems to me, this is not what I was looking at earlier. Not what I was looking at all. This is the PDF. But there was another, I don't know, let me go back here, sorry. Let me go back to his page, and underneath Q says, we have the server, and then he put plural in brackets. So, where did I get that email link? It was to, because that does not look like it that I saw before, but we'll try again. Nope. I had a link from someone somewhere, and it took us to a link of all these documents. And maybe they're all contained in here. I don't know, but not sure. So that's something else I'm going to have to look into further before tomorrow's show anyway, so that I can have some answers. I'd like some answers. I really, really want them. So we'll have to keep looking into that, but this is interesting development. Very interesting development. Was the successor server housed in bathroom number 2? Asking for a friend. That's a little humorous if you ask me. All right, and then down here, more suicides incoming. I wouldn't be surprised. So that's it for today. Not sure. I don't see any further posts from Q when we were out there a minute ago, so we're probably safe to say that that is all the posts for August 3rd, and tomorrow is the 4th all day. So I'll be back to you tomorrow. If Q does not post tomorrow, I have a lot of Q-related news to go over. Now, in terms of subscribing, if you want to be subscribed, make sure you stay subscribed, because they are knocking people off. Not literally, but they are desubscribing, if that is even a word, people against their will. Now, if you want to be notified of any videos, hit the bell. And that's about it. Hope you guys are probably heading to bed soon, at least on the East Coast, if you're not already there. And I hope you have a good sleep, that you have a great day tomorrow. Please stay safe.